Hi, you guys. So, right now I am actually um waiting for waiting for my food. I went to the gym, went and exercised, and just waiting on my food. So I got a little bit of time to chit chat with you guys. I actually got a good minute. Even though I can go home and then come back. By the time I hit the lights, the two lights that I got, it'll be time for me to turn back and get my food. So I was like, might as well sit here and, chit chat with you guys. I got heated seats. I'm cool. So, um, hopefully you guys are doing okay. Let's not turn the heat on like that. Let's not. I'm just gonna keep the heated seats. So anyhow, y'all, I drove close to where I grew up at. And I went that in that area to go and buy some boots, because the area that I live in, the store that has the boots, they have some boots that are similar to them in other stores, in their other like department stores here, but they cost twice as much, and they're not the boot wasn't the same heel. It was like a chunky heel, and I needed a spike heel. And even the fabric was a little different, so I didn't like it. I wanted the one that was going to match my jacket. And so I knew I can go, if you want more edgy clothes, you got to get closer to the bigger cities, like to the major cities. So that's what I did. I drove closer to my hometown. So even though I didn't go to a major city, I went to well, yes, a major city in my state, but I didn't go to like a major like city. I didn't go all the way there. But I went to go look for the boots. Didn't find those boots, but I found some other boots and some other stuff. And I was okay with it. And I saw some of my relatives that I hadn't seen in a minute. And just chit-chatted with them, and it made me feel a little bit warm inside, because it was like, okay, I haven't seen them in a minute. But after talking to, hi there. After talking to some of my relatives, I noticed some things that I didn't see before. And that is, my family really don't like me. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Sanad. Did I say it right? Hi, Cody. Is that Sanad? Sanad? And then Taylisa the first. Hi, you guys. So yeah, they really don't fancy me. I found out they really don't fancy me, okay? I always kind of felt that as a child, because I don't know, like only a certain relatives would go and show up for me. If the others did, it felt like it was out of necessity. And when I say out of necessity, I know y'all like, well, out of necessity, no one has to do that. Well, yes, people want to show face. They really don't want to tell you they don't really like the kid or anything like that. And I was doing so well in school and everything. So they had to show face. Not only that, a lot of my relatives, a lot of them would say bad things about me behind my back. Or to other people when I was a child. They used to say it in my face, but I was considered a smart aleck kid, because if you talk to me crazy, I'm gonna say something back. I did not care if I got in trouble for it. I don't know. Maybe because I'm autistic or something. I just don't. I don't care about that. And so, oh, thank you so much. And so, yeah, I didn't care. But so when I went on this drive, it was about a hour and a half away, and I was just talking to them, and I would see that they would cut me off anytime I would say something good. If it was something negative, they wanted to feed into it. But if it was something good, you know, they wanted to cut it off. What else? Oh yeah, I have a relative that lives in another state. We're around the same age, and they're like, oh, you know, when I asked them, hey, you know, we were in the store. I think I was talking about I needed a crock pot, and I was just joking around like, hey, you know, I surely need a crock pot, because they were talking about Christmas gifts. I don't really celebrate holidays, but I do, like, for like church functions, if they're doing like giving children out things, I do volunteer and give my time out to that, because I love to serve, and I love to help people. But me just going out and going for gifts and things like that, is I wouldn't, you know, get to that. So yeah, I was talking about the crock pot, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm not getting you anything. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, dang, that's kind of cold. Okay. And they were so serious. They was just going in and like, how dare you ask me for anything? And I'm like, okay, like, I was just kidding, but okay. And so I had got on the phone and started talking to one of my relatives, and they asked that person, could they get a care package? And they saw the crock pot, the same crock pot that I asked about. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to buy you that. I'm going to get you that. And I just looked like, oh, wow. Like, so it's certain people that you go and you do that to. And, it kind of made me feel like, dang, I felt like I was that fifth grader, that young fifth grader, when, you know, I lived with my aunts and none of them showed up. You know, my grandmother was going to show up for me for graduation, but she ended up having a stroke. And nobody showed up for my graduation. And then the exact year later, I had a cousin that had the same dress as me. They went and bought her a new dress. I had a hand-me-down dress, y'all. Was sock. It was just all crazy. And my grandmother had got the money for me to get everything new. And yeah, I didn't get that fulfilled. That's how I felt, like the fifth grade graduation kind of feeling. And so, it kind of made me feel sad. And I'm like, okay. And then, they were talking about going out to, you know, eat and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll treat you out to eat. And they're like, no, I don't want to go. And I'm like, okay. You know, usually I'll ask why or anything and stuff like that. But I think because of the process that I've been through, I'm able to release more. Doesn't mean that it didn't hurt, but I was able to release more. Not only that, this individual kept asking me, what was my next move? What is your next move? What are you trying to do next? I mean, they were so like into that part. I thought that they really cared, but something just told me not to say anything like intricate, anything deep about what I was doing, because I'm like, okay, they really didn't care before. And on top of that, you know, I only stay like about maybe an hour and a half from this relative, and they never came to visit me. They always said they would come to my city to go and shop like right next to me. Like the shopping mall that they want to go to is literally down the street from me. And so, oh, thank you. I didn't see that. Love the nails. Thank you. Hi there. And so, I got in my car and I started driving back, and I felt like a little, you know, I felt a little down. I felt a little downtrodden. But like I said before, you know, I picked myself up, and I had to remember, you know, God really brought me this far without the assistance of my family. Actually, he brought strangers to help me. And so that I know that I'm all right. You know, if God be for me, who can really be against me? Nobody. And if they're against me, who are they? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I begin to gather up my strength. Not only that, I started looking at the questions that this individual was asking me. And I'm like, why are they asking me this? And then I started having nightmares. So that was a whole nother thing. But, and it showed me some things that I went through in my past. Some things that I opened up to this individual that I shouldn't have opened up to. I shouldn't have opened up to by any means. By any means, but I did, and how it hurt me. How it hurt me in the long run, and I didn't notice it until then. And so that's why I wanted to make this video, because when my eyes were open and I didn't have the rose-colored glasses on, I was able to see. I was able to see the truth. I was able to see people for who they are, and it hurts. It hurts being around people who, are around you and supposed to care for you, and they really, when they really don't have a fancy for you, you have to, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You have to take it for what it is. You have to take it for what it is and move on. Like I said, does it hurt? Yes, it hurts a lot. And I can also see the manipulation, how, this individual, along with some others in my family, would keep up a lot of commotion between everybody else, and two in particular, it's like almost like they can do no harm, no wrong, and everyone else is like this, poor, downtrodden person, until the downtrodden person starts getting better. And then they don't really want to deal with you. Okay. But that was okay. I saw that, and that was okay. So I wanted to share that perspective, you'll be surprised. And I know I'm not the only person that went through that. You'll be so surprised when you see people who are around you, who will come around you and try to know everything that you're doing, just to talk it down, just to put a dagger or slow you down, slow your progress down. You will be surprised. This whole week, and it started, Sunday, okay? Today is Wednesday. It's hump day. It's the middle of the week, okay? Just today, just this week, like, literally, I've been having people who I've created bonds and friendships and associations with that are falling off by the wayside. Okay, falling off, and I mean like catastrophic. If I hadn't been through this before, I would probably go into a place and curl up and ball up and cry. Not gonna lie, because I'm very sensitive and emotional to the people who I'm close to and I'm attached to. But going through this process has taught me how to stand firm on who I am, what I want to be, and who I'm developing and becoming. Okay? Because the only thing that changed about me was the direction that I wanted to go, the determination of the direction I wanted to go. I stopped shortchanging myself. I started putting more focus on myself. I didn't give all my time out, all my resources out to other people. People, I'm having this financial trouble, I'm having this. I didn't try to break my neck anymore and sacrifice and be like, okay, I know I'm just gonna have to put in some extra shifts to go do this, but I gotta help this person pay their rent, or I gotta help this person at the expense of myself, because I saw what happened. I ended up being homeless one time because of that. And the same people who were that I was trying to help, that I actually helped, they didn't help me during my hard times, and some of them actually had the resources to do so. And so I learned from that. And some of those habits, things started coming back good for me because of the traits and the things that I started learning from, and my work ethic, because I'm gonna go to work. But yeah, it just didn't it didn't add up, y'all. It didn't add up. I'll say that. It didn't add up. They went through the same things, and history will repeat itself unless you make a change. Okay? And when I decided, like I said, I made the change. That's the difference. I made the change in the patterns that I was doing. I was able to see it, you know, and because of that, other people saw it. I didn't know that they saw it, but other people saw it, and they started creating distance, because now some of these people can see things that, you know, about me that are no longer working in their favor. Okay. And people get really mean and all that. They do all kind of stuff. They do all kind of stuff. Okay. Like I said before, I have friends that they're falling up by the wayside. Some of them try to set me up with some crazy stuff. Like, thank goodness God covered me and I was doing right. Okay. During this whole time, do right. Like, do right. I don't care, because you don't know who's looking. You don't know what's going on. You just don't know who you're around, what people will do. Okay. Because people will try to turn you over even when you're doing right. Okay. And I've witnessed that, you know, people who say that they really care for me, people who I go to bat for, would not care if I took my another breath on this planet. Okay. And so I had to acknowledge that and move accordingly. So that's my spill on that. The gift that I want to give and I want to share today is that you need to keep going. Things like this are going to happen when you start developing and becoming a better person that you were before, that people haven't seen or they didn't believe you were going to be. You can't let the obstacles stop you, because if you stop, you never see your full potential. You never see who you're going to be. Okay. What else? Take time to love yourself. It's not easy seeing that. It's not easy doing things that are different and challenging and things that you don't know what's going on, because it shocks your nervous system, especially going through the warfare that I've been through. It shocks your nervous system, but understand that is something that you need in order to grow. If you don't shock your system, you can't reset. Okay. That means if you stay in fear and you just stay right there, you can't reset. You gotta be shocked to the point where I have no other choice. I gotta be great. Like, you have to do that. Somebody said they love my nails again. Thank you. So yeah, just be great. Dare to dream and to put action to your dreams. Okay. Even though we don't know, you know, we don't always know who's for us or against us. When we see it, move accordingly. It's going to shock you, because it shocked me. Okay. Some people already know already. Some people have witnessed this for themselves, and they seen their own parents do this. Okay. And I got another story for that, but maybe in another time. But, yeah, move accordingly. You know, God is not going to give you more than you can bear anyway. You know, he's showing you that for a reason, so that you can make accommodations to navigate your life in a way that represents his love. And he doesn't want you to be around people who don't respect you, who only tolerate you, who don't see your value, don't see the person that you're becoming. Some people are, especially a lot of your family and friends that you formerly knew, they're going to only know you for who you once were, and they don't see growth. They're just they only can envision you as the person that you are, the person that they knew you were, not the person that you are, the person that they knew you were, because they're so close to you. They don't see the big developments unless you give them space. So, and loved ones too, and partners too. So, yeah, on that note, I'm going to get off of here. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem, and y'all have a good one. Bye.